second graders, Miss Diorio from Citizenship Academy here, and we are still working on measurement. Now today is going to be a really cool day. So before we get started though, I want to make sure you have a few things. You're going to want something to write on and something to write with for some of the word problems we do. You're also going to want a ruler if you have one. If you don't have a ruler at home, please don't go out and buy one. You really don't need one. But if you have one, grab it for this lesson. I also want to make sure you have a separate piece of paper other than what you're going to do your word problems on. So I have this little half sheet here that I'm going to be doing something with because we're going to be making something today that you're going to need to use. So make sure you have paper or something to write your word problems on and then a separate piece of paper that you can use and save. Okay, pause the video, grab those things. When you're ready, we'll get started. Okay, here we go. So today, we're going to apply concepts of measurement that we've already learned to create a ruler and measure lengths using ruler units. So using centimeters that we find in a ruler. Again, if you don't have a ruler, don't worry about it. All right, to start though, we're going to do a little bit of fluency practice as usual. I'm going to give you a number, and I want you to tell me how many more we need to get to the next 10. Remember, we're not going back, so if I say 2, you're not bouncing back to 0. You're going up to the next 10, so you're going to say 8, okay? Like if I say 9, you say 1, because we need 1 more to get to that next 10. All right, here we go. I'll snap when you say the number that we need. Here we go. Starting with 5, how many do we need to get to 10? 5, good job. 5 plus 5 is 10. Again, use the patterns that we know. 15, how many more do we need to get to 10? 5, good job. Same thing here. We're still using those ones of those 5 ones, adding 5 more to get to the next 10. 15 plus 5 gets us to 20. 25, how many more do we need to get to the next 10? 5, good job. 25 plus 5 gets us to 30. 16, how many more do we need to get to the next 10? We're going up to 20. 4, good. I know that 6 plus 4 equals 10, so 16 plus 4 is going to equal 20. 24, how many more do we need to get to the next 10? 6, good job. I know 4 plus 6 equals 10. 24 plus 6 equals 30. 19, how many do we need to get to the next 10? 1, good job. 9 plus 1 equals 10. 19 plus 1 equals 20, using what we know. 21, how many more do we need to get to the next 10? 9, awesome job. We know that 9 plus 1 equals 10. 21 plus 1 plus 9 equals 30. All right, application problem. Get out your paper that you don't need to save for this one. We're just going to solve this together. So I'm going to read it, and then we're going to go over it. This says, Jamie has 65 flashcards. Henry has 8 more flashcards than Jamie. How many flashcards does Henry have? Okay, we want to figure out how many flashcards Henry has. We want to know how many he has. And he has, I'm looking at this keyword, more than Jamie. So, pause the video, talk with someone at home. Are we going to add or are we going to subtract? How are we going to solve this problem? Okay, let's talk about it. So, I'm looking at this keyword more. So that means adding on more. So if Henry has 8 more flashcards than Jamie, I'm going to have to add the 8 to the 65 to get to my answer. So my number sentence is going to read 65 plus 8 equals. Write that down, and then I want you to try and solve this one on your own. Okay? Pause the video and try it. Come back when you're ready. Ready? Okay, so when I look at this, I see 65 as the bigger number. And I want to get this 65 to a number that's easy for me to add and makes sense to me. So I'm going to break down the 8 well, I know that 65 needs how many to get to the next 10? 5, right? So I'm going to break down the 8 into 5 and 3. And I'm going to add 65 plus 5 equals 70. Now, our leftover number is that 3 there. So we're going to have to add that to the 3 and get 73. Now, if it made sense to you to just scoop up and add on, that's totally fine. For me, it's easier to add to a 10 and go from there. It makes more sense in my brain. But whatever works for you. So 65 plus 8 is 73. Henry has 73 cards. All right. You ready? We're going to use that little example I did yesterday with the pinky measuring the eraser to make our own centimeter cube. So this is where you're going to need a piece of paper and a pencil or something to write with. Now, we're going to use the same rules that we used to measure to make our own centimeter ruler. So I'm going to make myself bigger for this one. You're going to start with your paper. You're going to take your pinky finger. Remember, your pinky is about the size of a centimeter. You need to start at an end point. So you can't start your centimeter ruler in the middle. It has to start an end point. So line it up on the end. You want it to be as accurate as you possibly can make it, because when we measure things, we want them to be accurate. So you're going to take your pinky and you're going to line it up at the end point of your paper. Now, once it's lined up, you're going to take your pencil or your pen and you're going to make a little tick mark right on the edge of your pinky. Okay? Do you see that? Now, under this tick mark, I'm going to write the number 1 because that is 1 centimeter. Okay. From there, same thing when we're measuring, right? The same thing when we make a ruler. We cannot have any gaps or overlays. So I'm going to take my centimeter measure, which is my pinky, and I'm going to line up my pinky right on the line where that 1 is. Make sure there's no overlaps, no gaps. And I'm going to do another line on the other side of my pinky and write a 2 under that. See that? Okay, and I'm going to continue across, taking my pinky, lining it up with the mark I made, making another mark, and going all the way across and numbering as I go. As you can see on a ruler, if you have one, every centimeter is marked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're doing the same thing with our own centimeter ruler. Now, you are going to need either this centimeter ruler that you're making right now or a ruler that has centimeters on it for your problem set for today. So, pause the video and either go grab your ruler or continue all the way across your paper making your own centimeter ruler. I finished one right here. This is what mine looks like. And I'm going to use this today for my problem set because I know each of these marks is a centimeter across or about a centimeter across. So pause the video, finish that up, and come back when you're ready. All right, ready? Make sure that your centimeter ruler is numbered, okay? Every tick mark needs a number so that you can use it to measure. Now we're going to practice using it. When you use a ruler, you use it the same way that you use the centimeter cubes. You line up your endpoints and measure as close as it can get. So, for example, in this picture, somebody is measuring a card. They lined up their ruler with the card at the endpoint, and then you look to where the other endpoint is, and it's going to give you a number. That number is the number of centimeters, the length of the card. So instead of counting your cubes, you just have to look at the number and line it up as to where it measures. Same thing on this one. You see one endpoint, you line up your ruler, your centimeter ruler at the endpoint. Okay? And then you go all the way across, you find the other endpoint and you look down, and that's how many centimeters it is. Again, you can use the word about if it's not exact. All right, I'm going to measure my pen with my centimeter ruler just to give you an example. Here's my pen. I'm going to line it up at the endpoints of my ruler, and I'm going to look. The other endpoint of my ruler looks like it's at about the 14. So I would say my pen is about 14 centimeters long. Pretty cool, right? All right. So your problem set for today, or your exit ticket for today, is in a Google form. You're going to take your centimeter ruler that you made, or if you have your own ruler at home, either one, and you're going to measure the images on the screen. Little silly, but it's going to work out. So you're going to take your centimeter ruler and you're going to line it up with the endpoints. You can't really see him doing it, but you're going to line it up with the endpoints of the picture, and then you're going to choose the best estimate as to how long it is. So you have 3 problems like that, and then for this one with the triangle, you need to measure the 3 sides. So we have side A, side B, side C. Use your centimeter ruler, line up the endpoints of the triangle, boop, 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 line them up, and you're going to tell me how long they are, and then I want you to tell me which side is the shortest. Okay? Line up your endpoints, look down, figure out how many centimeters each image is about. Give a good estimate. All right. Have fun, and I'll see you next time.